Anyone that knows me knows there'll be notes hanging around the place here all day. Delegates, colleagues, the media, dignitaries and guests. I see many familiar faces here this morning, many indeed who have travelled the length and breadth of this country to be here today. You're all very welcome back to the heart of the country in Mullingar. So you're equidistant now, north, south, east and west. It's one of the most beautiful towns in the country, with excellent facilities and food, which I hope you will sample and enjoy before you leave, and enjoy the many benefits that's here in Mullingar, most beautiful setting. I am proud that the National Conference has returned to the constituency of Mullingar Westmeath here. We've held many Labour Party national events, all of which have been a great success. Indeed, it's probably well known that I fought hard to get the conference back here to Mullingar in 2016, and I'm glad to say that these efforts have paid off. It will bring an added boost to our local economy, and we need it, because it has been a difficult time for communities and businesses in the Midlands with recent flooding. And when we are here, we should reflect upon that. Many people who suffered significantly due to the adverse weather events in the past couple of months, and particularly across the Midlands and across into Athlone and down to Roscommon and back into Offaly and other areas, and indeed come further up into North Westmeath as well. Many people that visited during Canvas recently, even in Mid Westmeath, people suffered losses. And the one thing we must do, and as the Labour Party, we have to do everything as a government to assist the people in getting their properties and lives back to normal as soon as possible. And we must not countenance bureaucratic impediments or obstacles in this regard. People who have sustained damage to their properties or their homes must be assisted and compensated, and no amount of piddly-widdly and with bureaucracy or anything else should be used to deny people what is right. And this thing of saying that properties have to be in rateable value, areas that are valued under the rateable valuation system. How in the name of God would a farm with an equestrian farm or a horse farm out in the middle of Carrigabrine be rated? It's not in an IDA industrial estate. So let's get real and compensate people who have suffered losses, people that you watch on the television and that. We gather here in Mullingar today on the eve of a vitally important general election. We are here today because we are proud of Labour's record in government. We are also here today because we know that the stakes in the general election are very high. Ireland has been brought back from the brink and now faces a decade of great opportunity ahead. No one can deny but that our country is in a vastly better shape than it was 5 years ago, and you all recall what it was then. As my colleagues say, the question facing the people at the next election in the next number of weeks is whether they want to continue this progress or to go into reversion and go backwards. Well, the recovery hasn't been felt in every home or every community yet. It is spreading. And yes, it needs to accelerate the spreading to places like Mullingar and beyond, down to rural Ireland, because that's very important. There's a heartbeat in rural Ireland that needs to be reinvigorated, and it needs sustained and focused and targeted policies to ensure the sustainability of rural villages and rural towns across this country. It's no use having all the developments in the city and urban areas. We must get it down to the rural areas. And one of the big things about rural Ireland is if they're given broadband, we have the entrepreneurs and young innovators who will actually reap the benefits, and we will have telecottage and industry in that where they can communicate across the world and generate jobs in their own areas. It would not be just good for the economy, it would be good for the environment, it would lessen the need for people to have to travel from here eastwards to Dublin and everywhere else. So let's get a proper broadband facilities down to rural Ireland. That's a huge infrastructural deficit in this country. The Irish economy is recovering, unemployment has fallen, and the growth rate of Ireland is the highest in the EU. And indeed, the Taoiseach has played a major role in that, and we want to acknowledge that. 1,000 jobs are being created every week. As a country, we cannot take this opportunity for granted. We need a stable and balanced government with Labour at its heart to ensure that we have a strong economy that will invest in a decent society and will have fairness at the core of that government. We are united because we know that the difference Labour has made in a time of crisis. and we all know how deep the crisis was. But imagine what we could achieve in a time of opportunity. It is our job as Labour Party members to knock on every door, to talk to every friend, relative and colleague, and bring the message home that we need stability and balance in government, not a gamble on an uncertain future. This is no time for casino politics. As Labour Party members, we are standing up for Ireland's future. We are standing up for working people and standing up for jobs. We are a party of work, not a party of dependency. I see it in my own constituency here in Longford Westmeath. Yesterday I had the pleasure of attending the opening of the new Intro Centre in Mullingar with the Taoiseach John Burton. And it was a very exciting event. And we heard from people who are benefiting from some of the policies that the Labour Party, through the Taoiseach, is putting in place at the heart of government. Over 3,000 people have come off the live register in Longford Westmeath over the past 5 years. USC cuts for the low and middle income workers are kicking in. And in our manifesto we shall set out clearly and cogently and in a very costed, rigorous way how we continue to get rid of the USC for those under €72,000 over the next 5 years, and indeed also alleviate the PRSI burden, which many people feel is a tax. And the important thing about it is, if it is there, people are entitled to get benefits for what they contribute and not have them taken away. And that's another area that has to be focused upon in the future. The minimum wage rise to €9.15 has been referred to by Lorraine, and it has taken effect and has given a boost to low-paid workers, especially to working women. I remember when I was in government in March 2011, the Taoiseach and Pat Rabbitte and others gave me the job of dealing with Fine Gael to make sure that the minimum wage reduction of €1, which was agreed to by Fianna Fáil, was reversed. Well, it was a little bit torturous, shall we say, but we got there, because we knew that the minimum wage would be perceived as a floor, and the lower it went, the lower the floor. I am especially proud of my role with my Labour Party colleagues that I played in overhauling Ireland's bankruptcy legislation. And after a great deal of resistance and effort, Labour and government brought the bankruptcy period from 3 years to one year. And this will reduce the ordeal for people facing bankruptcy, allow them to get back up, and again, the sooner the better for individuals, the economy and society. I'm running out of time. But today's conference is not about the past, it's about setting out our stall and showing to the people of Ireland how we'll deliver in government for the next 5 years. I want Labour return to government because we'll safeguard recovery and spread the benefits in a fair and balanced way. That means abolishing USC for low and middle income workers, but ensuring that the highest income earners continue to pay their fair share. It means ensuring that we use the bulk of our resource for investment in essential service, so that we can deliver small class sizes, the smallest class sizes in the history of the state. Free GP care for not just for our children and our elderly, but every person. The state has never sufficiently invested in childcare. As the economy recovers, Labour will change that once and for all, with subsidised childcare for all children under the age of 12 by 2021. A regional investment programme that delivers full employment across rural Ireland, as I said. Full employment with 2.2 million people at work by 2020. The Labour Party is standing up for Ireland's future, and we're ambitious what we can achieve for Ireland. As I knock on doors across Longford and Westmeath, I can point to our track record, and that in spite of the difficult times, as proof of what we will achieve in a second term when we have an economic environment and circumstances that are more benign. We have an excellent story to tell, so let's get out there and tell it. In 2011, the people of Ireland put their trust in the Labour Party to get Ireland working again. In 2016, I have faith that the Irish electorate will entrust the Labour Party to finish the job they started. Go Ramina got Michael.